Hello, everyone. This is Sabrina, and we are here recording another episode of Coffee with Sabrina. You know, I bring all these interesting guests every week for you to learn something from. So today, I cannot wait for you to share with you my guest. Danielle, thank you so much for coming out today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yes, I'm glad we actually found some time on the calendar to do this.
Yes. Thank you.
Well, tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. I'm a serial entrepreneur.
Okay.
I love all things business. I like creating businesses and just starting projects and just I really like projects. But I'm
You don't know about you. Tell us a little bit about your background, like your childhood, your foundation, because I think our foundation is basically what builds us and really what I wouldn't say what forms us, but what helps us to stay afloat and standing today and making the decisions that we've made.
Yes. I grew up in Harlem, New York, until middle school. And middle school in sixth grade, we moved to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So I, between the two, spent most of my life there. I moved from Florida at 29, almost on my 30th birthday. But my foundation, I have two siblings, single mom, growing up in inner cities. So I'm used to city life, that fast-paced life.
Do you enjoy the fast-paced life?
I'm learning that it's not necessary.
Yeah.
A long time I did. Now I'm starting to enjoy slower mornings and quieter evenings. So I had to move from downtown. I lived downtown. It was beautiful, high riser, all the lights. There's always fire trucks, always just loud horns. Now I live on the lake and it's just
nice. I love it.
I
love it.
I enjoy quiet now.
So you said you're a serial entrepreneur. Tell us a little bit about that history.
Yes. Okay. When I was a kid, I wanted to have, and I envisioned it being in a brownstone, a scab peeling business. Right? I know. And now I'm so invasive what I do now, so I don't know if it's related, but I used to want to peel scabs. I would always peel, like I would fall, I would peel a scab, I would peel my siblings' scabs. I would get in trouble for it. I don't know what type of, now it's pimple popper. Now it's nice. Back then, you were weird. But I just knew I was going to have this business peeling scabs.
Yeah.
I never did that. But that's where the entrepreneur part happened. So I would say, I knew I wanted to be a business owner. I would say probably from like 7.
Wow.
From like 7.
Yes.
Then middle school, would like sell stuff, do all that, selling candy, selling food and stuff at school. And then I've sold hair, I've sold clothes, I've had online shops, I've sold so many different things. I started doing life insurance physicals after phlebotomy, opened up a clinic, opened up a home health agency for companion care.
Yeah.
So I kind of do it until it's not exciting anymore, and then I know it's time to move on.
Have you found your passion?
Yes. So the staffing phlebotomist.
Okay.
So staffing phlebotomist for a variety of organizations. So I got into that in 2016, and that's more so biometric events, drug testing events, clinical trials. And once we started staffing for Major League Baseball, doing their steroid testing nationwide, I knew that, I'm good at placing people in positions and giving people opportunities for job placement. So I love job placements. Yeah.
So how long have you started? How long have you had this business, this new business?
The staffing, so I started staffing in 2016. And then now my new baby, still staffing, still doing that. We have stuff almost every day, is the school, the training. So the training phlebotomist and medical assistants. So in Texas, that opened up in 2023, the end of 2023.
Okay. What inspired you to open up the training center?
A few things. I love phlebotomy. It is not going anywhere, and I am trying to keep up with that trend because you can't diagnose any diseases without lab work.
Right.
So there's always going to be a need for phlebotomy services. So to still stay in that and not be in such a rat race with staffing and the competition and just the extra, it's a catty world. I'm like, okay, I can just teach people. I can learn. I can teach people all the skills that I've learned and what I think is important, and they can go out. And if I have a position for them, great, hire them. But I can kind of tell you where to work, what you're gonna like, what you're not gonna like, all the different things that a phlebotomist can do. So that's how I got to that.
Tell us a little bit in detail about the school and basically both businesses kind of intertwining with each other.
Yes. So the programs that we have is phlebotomy, medical assistant, EKG tech, mental health tech, physical therapy tech. Most of the tech type.
So it's not just phlebotomy.
Not
it's
just
a lot of
phlebotomy.
other
Yeah, we have 10
things,
programs, and we even have like a phlebotomy instructor program.
Okay.
We have like a fast track, and then we have like a short, so for organizations, for upskilling, or if you just don't know what you want to do, we have a program that you can get into the medical field.
Okay.
And with the staffing, I love when I get to hire someone from the school. During COVID, every student that I had during before the school closed in Florida during COVID, I gave them jobs because phlebotomists can do nasopharyngals. So phlebotomists were doing a lot of the nasal collections nationwide. So I've hired everyone that was available. I'm like, okay, you're going,
Yeah.
and people couldn't really find jobs like that. So everyone was grateful, everyone's showing up. So I enjoyed that. So I love when I can bring in people that I've trained they didn't know what to do at all when they came in, never drew blood before, and now I feel confident that I can send them out and have them drop them.
Yeah. So and also at that time the demand was high, so that worked very well.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
It worked very well.
Yeah.
But I feel even today too, it's about this. It's not the same, but the demand is always high for any medical field person.
Yes.
So
Yes.
good field to be in. So you've been doing the staffing since 2016. The training you just started in 2023. You said.
Yes. So but we had to close. So I opened up the end of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So 2019 and then 2020 by April. No more.
Wow.
Yeah, we were set to have a class in Atlanta, Georgia, and everything shut down that March. So we were going to have a class. People paid. It was already set. We were taking our show to Atlanta, and the country got closed. So I focused more on staffing from that point. Put the school aside, and I knew that I would revisit the school again.
Yeah.
And that was 2023 when I revisited in Dallas.
Wow. How are you marketing for your students right now?
Okay, we're on the eligible training provider list. So if someone needed financial aid or they had different barriers, Texas Workforce Solutions will cover their tuition. So it will be at no cost. So people do find us from looking at the eligible training provider list when they're picking schools, because we have a fast track medical assistant program. Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, community events.
So it's really not hard for you to find for students to come to you.
It's not hard, no, but Texas still, people need to know who you are a little bit. I feel like I just popped up. It's like, who is this person? So I feel like I still have to go to certain events and let people know who I am. And then once we meet, and then people feel more comfortable versus going to a school that's been there 10, 15, years.
Right.
Like I have to be more intentional about the students. And now that we just got the approval for the WIOA funding, so WIOA, which is Texas Workforce Solutions, and Texas Vocational Rehab. If you have a disability or some type of impairment, they will also cover your tuition and the cost too.
Well, you say it so nonchalantly, but that's such a big thing for you to be affiliated with the Texas workforce and with all these government programs, because that way, yes, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. But when you're on those kinds of lists, it means that you've been vetted, you've been background checked, you've been everything possible, or else they would not get with you. So that is such a big thing. And I want you to feel that, and I want you to know that, because you're just so calm and nonchalant about it. That is such a big thing.
Thank you.
So I would feel comfortable, without even knowing you, knowing that you come recommended on these lists, so kind of, yes, I hope you receive that. So you've done a lot of things from childhood, but it seems like you stayed around the same type of business, for all these years. What would you say from the time you started to now, what would you say was your biggest challenge? And then what would you say was your biggest success?
I would say my biggest challenge was is sometimes just not really realizing like how powerful I am, and I'll downplay things a lot. And I think that I didn't have that confidence before, because I've done this school. I was on the eligible training provider list in Florida, and when COVID, it just went left. So I think one of my challenges is just doing what I want to do, whatever it is. Like, I'm going to want the best for whoever I'm around. I try to build these ecosystems, but I would say that's my biggest challenge. But just, I think I can say this better. I would say my biggest challenge then is like, I feel like I've already had an enemy. It's not too many things that I know now that I didn't already know. Okay. So I just didn't tap in. I had to do more, not just therapy, but I just had to do more personal development for myself to bring it out. Like, these are ideas, I've had some of the same ideas that I'm doing now that I wrote down like 6 years ago. So I would say maybe not implementing faster. I'm getting better now with implementing faster. I'm like, I'm going to open up a new program. I'm submitting the paperwork that week versus thinking about it longer. So I would say a challenge that I've had in the past is holding on to things a little longer, waiting for the right moment, waiting until everything is perfect. Now, I just will go for it. Yeah.
In summary, based on everything you just said on your challenges and hearing you said it earlier, you said it just now too, a lack of confidence. I think that's really all it was. You knew what you wanted, you knew how to do it, but you weren't sure that you should take that step. And I think for our audience out there, that happens a lot. We have an idea, we have a skill or a talent, but we're not confident enough to take that one step. And so when you have that type of challenge, we're already business owners, whether you're a business owner or you're someone looking to start a business, when we have those types of challenges, and we're afraid to take that step, lacking confidence, really and truly, the reason we cannot take that step is fear. Fear is our only blocker. Even today, as a seasoned entrepreneur, we still fear things, and so I like that you explained that, but in summary, it really was a lack of confidence because you knew, but you were afraid.
Yeah, and I think because I didn't have all the degrees,
right,
and just feeling like, okay, should you be this brilliant, with a high school diploma, or you just went to training school or trade school, and I've had friends that went to Harvard, and I'm like, I'm smarter than you. So I think it was that component. Then I started, I went back to school and I ended up getting, more things under my belt. But I think for a long time, I just felt like with a high school diploma, it's restricted. But
It's
really
not.
not. No.
It really isn't. You know what I'm learning also, as I around my circle and around the people I'm at, if they're not paying for a service, they don't feel like it's worthy of their knowledge, right? They don't think it's good enough for them. Um, because I'm not certified in some things that I give advice on. And I say that in my videos. I say I am not a coach, I'm not certified in mental health, but I can help, right? I can help you. And so even this last weekend, I was talking to someone and I had, given some advice and this, that, and the other. And of course, it was nothing to them. But then they went and they spoke to a psychologist and telling me what the psychologist said. And I'm sitting there thinking, I didn't say it out loud, but I'm thinking, did I not say that to you like a couple of months ago? So, yes, I understand that. So, there are some people out there that they want to see that certification. But the thing about it, a lot of people don't realize is we can't pay for experience. Experience comes with time. And there's no education out there that can beat experience. There's no education out there that can beat experience. So I love that while that was a challenge back then, that you found your way, that you're confident now. And I see it in you. While we're not best friends, I've been around you long enough to know I see you walk it, you talk it, you're confident. So just keep that going. Just keep that going. And I'm really proud of knowing, where you came from to what you've done to where you are right now. Just a little bit I know about you. I'm really loving it.
Thank you.
So
I appreciate that.
you're welcome. So tell us about your biggest success.
I would say my biggest success, I have a few, but my biggest success in the staffing realm was sometimes I get phone calls and I'm like, what? You know me? Like, I'll get these companies and they're like, yeah, we've been looking into you. And I'm like, huh? So there's not that many nationwide phlebotomy staffing companies. So I guess it's not hard when they're doing their search that has like nationwide coverage. So I would say when we started doing the steroid testing for Major League Baseball, like being able to go into the stadiums and you have this like private entrance and you don't have to wear scrubs to go draw the blood. So you get to, I loved it. You get to look cute. Yes. So I loved that so much, and I was able to give so many people jobs because it was nationwide. And it wasn't like based on, because you know me. It's like I'm looking at your skills. You have something a little off, but being able to have that, to be able to make those decisions. I don't want to say power, but to be able to like have that final decision, like people, that may not get that job in a normal situation if it was another company. And it worked out great. However, Major League Baseball switched to not venipunctures. They had a whole big switch, so now it's like a dry spot type of thing for their blood prick to check for steroids. So we don't have that contract anymore. It was great while it lasted, but I would say that paved the way because we had to have coverage every major minor league city.
Yeah.
So then that was able to be used for other clients, having that coverage, and then it just expanded that coverage. Right. So I would say baseball, though it wasn't directly through baseball, it was through another company, but that was the beginning. Yeah, that was a big thing.
That's fantastic. Now we talked about something that you offer that you haven't spoken about yet, and that's the allergy testing. Yes. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. That was a client of ours. Their name is called Cell Science Systems, and we just draw the blood, right? We don't get too deep in it. We send a phlebotomist, they collect the kit, we drop off to FedEx. That's it, right? And I would say we started doing their collections in 2017. They're in South Florida, so it was just. And then one day, I had the gastric sleeve in 2020, so now I'm more mindful of like what I'm eating and things like that. And I still to this day don't know who said this to me. I just know it was a guy. And he said, obesity is eating things that you're allergic to that you don't know that you're allergic to.
Wow.
And I still don't know who this was, but he was in person. And he's like, yeah, it just means you're eating things that you're allergic to. Anybody that's overweight, it's only because they're eating things that their body can't process. And they're basically having allergic reactions on the inside instead of the outside. And I was like, huh. And then something popped in my head. We do allergy tests. We do the blood test for...
You collect, yeah, you do it and you collect it.
So I knew I had it already, so I emailed Liz, who's like the client services. She's like your go-to person, and I said, hey, I want to order this test. What are my options? Insurance doesn't pay. It's self-pay. It's 4 tubes of blood. She's like, I can give you a coupon code. It's going to be $500, but I can give you a coupon and save like 40 or 50 bucks. And I did it, and I found out I was allergic to so many things. Like I had intolerances. So it gives you a green light, a red light, a yellow light, and like mild. So things that I had been eating my entire life, I found out that I had sensitivities to. So it helped keep the weight off. I never really gained. So I would say my highest was 387. When I had the gastric sleeve, I was 350. When I found out about the ALCAT test, when that person said that to me, I was maybe like 275, 280, somewhere in there. And right now I'm about 210. And I'm just more mindful because I now know what foods I can eat. I was drinking margaritas. He came back and said agave. I love plantains, rice and black beans. I'm like, I would eat all of these things in the same meal.
Right.
I would have rice and beans, chicken, and a margarita.
And plantains, maybe too.
And flour. And I would eat dumplings.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of that in one meal. And I would have that my whole life.
Right.
So it wasn't that I'm eating these bad things because it's limited ingredients.
Yeah.
It just wasn't for my body. So I do recommend anyone who just don't really know, they're like, hey, I'm doing everything right and I'm still gaining weight, or I'm not like losing weight or something like that. Get the food sensitivity test. There's tons out there. The one that I took was by Cell Science Systems. It's called an ALCAT test, and I think it's great. I think that helped also with clarity, maybe even confidence.
Right. But you can do those tests yourself too.
Yes. Okay. So we also we're a mobile phlebotomy provider for them. So even if you're in another state and you still want to use us, you could just say, hey, can we use Metro Health staffing to send, and they'll send one of our phlebotomists out. Or if you're in if you're in North Texas, we also do it in our office in Grand Prairie.
Okay. That is fantastic. Is there, before we end today, is there anything else you would like to share with our audience, whether it's business or personal, a quote, a saying, whatever you want advice to give to our audience?
Sure. I would say listen to yourself. Listen to your intuition and your own internal discernment. If you have an idea about something, whatever it is, act on it fast. You'll figure everything out later. Like, don't wait until everything is perfect and the moon is aligned with the sun and you have the money, like before the money. Do it without the money, without just, do it. Just don't wait. Just start it now.
Yeah.
Start now.
I love it. I love that. I love that you threw the money thing in there, because that is number one stopper for most people.
Yeah.
Oh, I have this great idea or this great skill or talent, but I don't have the money to do it. There's so many resources out there, like we both know, right? There's so many resources for the money. There's so many resources out there for help if you really don't know how to start a business or what do you need to do first. There's so many resources.
There's pitches, there's business accelerators.
Yes.
There's organizations that get funding just to help people at every phase of their business, whether it's in the idea mode, whether,
Yeah.
Wherever you are, there's resources.
Yeah, one of the services that I offer, and I really don't talk about my services a whole lot, but because we're on that topic, one of the services that I offer is business consultation. And it's really for either a brand new person looking to start a business or someone who just needs, they need a little push. They need a little, like sometimes you get stuck. And so my business consultation is designed for each person. It is not a curriculum. It is not something you have to do for 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 3 weeks. It's coming, let's talk, let's have this consultation. If you need another one, we'll do that. But it's not an ongoing thing. It's not something that you have to keep doing. And I do that because sometimes we don't need someone to be telling us every week what we need to do. We just need the list of things to do. And then, we get it done. So that's one of the services I offer. And I love that you said that because money is our biggest stopper. And then the resources are the other. We don't know who to talk to. Because when I started my business, I didn't know who to go to. Everything I learned is, I call it's the cost of doing business. I either paid for it with money or I paid for it with tears and sweat. Yeah. But I paid for it at some point, So, yeah. Well, if the audience wanted to reach you out there, how would they reach you?
Okay. If you wanted to reach me on LinkedIn, you can probably put in Mental Health Institute and find me. My name is Danielle White. If you needed to reach the school, find out more information about the school, on Facebook, Instagram, it's Mental Health Institute. You'll find that. Our website is mhicertifications.org, which is Mental Health Institute certifications.org. That's how you can find me.
Awesome. All of that information will be at the bottom of this video, guys, so you don't have to keep listening and pausing. You can just click the tabs on the bottom of this video and you can get to Danielle's, all her platforms, or if you need to send her an email or message her.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate this. I too learned some things about you today. I learned, I really understood a little bit better of what you did. I mean, I know what a phlebotomist is, but in doing these podcasts, I get to learn so much about my guests, even though I've sat with you for 4 months and hear it over and over, but I really understood a little bit more today what you do. So thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you. And I know now, know more more about you, and if I have a question or if someone have any type of struggles with business and placement, or they need a wonderful place to record their podcast or their content, I know exactly where I'll send them to.
Because this week we don't really talk much about the studio in my other business, where you really know me. But yes, I always, this is where we're doing all our podcasts, all of my videos. I've got a ton of clients that come in, regulars that come in, on a monthly basis, and they do their content here. So
I now know where I'll go.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Well, guys, we've just wrapped up another episode of Coffee with Sabrina. Until next time, bye-bye.